Dear viewers, thank you for joining us on this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe television, live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. I am Babla Jonathan. In our top stories in this edition of the news, about half a dozen families rendered homeless in the Bam and Enubu division, central region of the Republic of Cameroon. Their houses and properties were destroyed in the Bafia, Biamu and Mesansang neighborhoods of villages in that part of the Republic of Cameroon. And out of the country, fighting erupts between Christians and Muslim protesters in Ilorin, Nigeria, over the wearing of coverings by Muslim school girls. About 60 families have been rendered homeless by a natural catastrophe in the Mbam and Enubu division, central region of the Republic of Cameroon. The houses were destroyed and their properties also in the Biamu, Bafia, Biamu and Mesansang villages. For me, Armstrong Sander, finds in details.
Several families rendered homeless in Bafia, in the Bam and Enubu division of the central region of Cameroon. They are victims of the heavy rains currently witnessed in several localities in Cameroon. Locals say over 30 families have been affected by the natural catastrophe in Bafia alone.
La nuit, pratiquement, dehors.
Beside Bafia, localities like Mbiamu and Mesansang have also been badly affected, with visually impaired persons also rendered homeless. While begging for the public's assistance, he says everything in his house has been destroyed. Helpless and homeless, the victims of the Mbam and Enubu division are looking up to the government of Cameroon. This aged victim says their plea to the government is specifically addressed to the Ministry of Territorial Administration through the Divisional Officer for Bafia and the Senior Divisional Officer for the Mbam and Enubu Division. This, however, is not the first of such incidents in Bafia, Mbiamu and Mesansang. The current incidents left at least 60 families homeless.
And getting an accommodation in the southwest regional chieftown Boya has become more or less an uphill task, and this is being attributed to some illegal practices by suspected cyber criminals in the town. Derek Jato reports.
An afternoon in the southwest region, and Boya, the regional capital, is a reflection of the city alive.
Have a house in Boya.
And today we are looking at the tenant, the landlord, and the gap in between.
Yes. Someone will just take pictures somewhere and come and publish online that is giving houses for rent. And at the end of the day, you send money, the house you see is not the one, the real one that is posted online. So making it very difficult. Cyber criminality is very high when you're looking for a house. Victims are too many here in Boya.
The streets of this city are flooded with information on papers and cards announcing houses available for rent to potential tenants. Some are carrying directives and others are just bare. Mr. Sebastian Fonley Collier Ambiance Patu is a landlord. He says a lot of bad guys are in the city, and some even go as far as negotiating and taking money for properties that are not theirs.
Some money should say landlord for the house. He pay money for advance. He is on receipt whether the receipt don't get no title. So many advise all people that when they come for Boya, enter Boya, buy even land, buy rent house. Say no, we want pay money for some money for concern house or land. Ask fine, ask even tenant, ask the next neighbor.
And Giberita Ajogo has been too careful though she is paying a price.
I'm looking for a house. I'm not yet find one, but I hope to find one.
So for how long have you been searching for a house now?
Going to, close to 3 weeks now.
Actually, depending on the kind of accommodation.
The people here want the government to sanitize this city.
Yeah, so the government should look for ways to fight this cyber criminality, which is a daily routine here in Ghana.
And as a response, some real estate agencies drawn from Bamenda, Limbe and Boya are stepping in, first with education.
Many people might not know exactly what real estate agents and agencies do. One of the main things that these agents do is they provide properties to customers who are coming from far and wide to be able to settle in. Also, people who want to buy landed properties, who want to buy houses, can go through real estate agents. The real estate agents will get to talk to the landlords, ascertain the authenticity of the property, because sometimes it could have been sold to multiple people.
Meeting recently in Boya, these real estate members call on the population to stop this ill in the society.
So we want to bring that
by just doing the right thing. To them, real estate agencies should be given a chance to occupy the space in between the landlords, their properties, and their potential tenant.
Over 100 traders in the Douala 3 subdivision are being threatened by a forceful demolition exercise, notably those around the Entre-Lycée neighborhood. They have been given 3 days to leave the area where they have been doing business for years by council authorities. For me, Armstrong Sanda reports.
This cooking gas vendor by name Rodrigue has been here for just 2 months, but is now preparing to leave. He paid a 1-year rent for this space, but is unfortunately compelled to leave just after 2 months spent. Just like him, about 100 traders have been asked to leave the Entre-Lycée roundabout in the Pekadous neighborhood of the Douala 3 subdivision before a demolition exercise planned for 3 days.
Times are really hard, and we barely feed from what we do here at the road. Now they want us to leave. Where do we go to? Should we now go into prostitution or stealing? Things are hard in Cameroon.
The Douala 3 Council plans to expand a secondary road from the area through the government high school Ndokhem as part of its plans to modernize the Douala 3 municipality, a project which the council says falls in line with preparations ahead of the African Nations Cup 2022 and thus needs no further explanation to the angry victims. Some local inhabitants decry what they qualify as injustice in the selection of houses for destruction. Others, on their part, say the council has failed in sensitizing inhabitants on the rightful occupation of spaces. At the Peka-Ons neighborhood, the demolition exercise has already been carried out by the Douala 3 Council.
Now to Ambam in the south region of the Republic of Cameroon, where the population have gone without constant and adequate electric energy supply for several months today, and they are lamenting over the damages and the consequences of the inadequate electric energy supply in that part of the country. They are calling on the electricity production and distribution company to rescue them from the disturbing situation. Details in this report compiled by Smart Jigan Gabriel.
It's been 3 months that inhabitants of Ambam in the south region are without energy supply, even though living next to the Memvele Dam. Most business persons to survive have resorted to the use of generators.
We are not able even to have lights in this Ambam, because this is our place that we are working. Not able to have something that we can eat, because this is my business place. I do hairdressing. We cannot have light, even in the fridge. Everything that we put in the fridge, the thing get rotten. We are tired. We are tired in this Ambam. We don't know how we can do.
Without power supply, business operators suffer the most as their activities are slowed down.
Lead light, Movola is just nearer us, but we are not able to even have lights. We are not even able to access to lights. We need light.
To curb this epileptic nature of electricity in the town of Ambam, the company in charge of production and distribution of electricity in Cameroon made a thermal power station, but the inhabitants see that it is poorly managed. Sometimes we are told to pay money for us to be connected. Some people are getting enriched through it. All attempts to get in contact with Emil for their own side of the story failed.
We are begging for our father that he should give us lights. That's our problem. We make 1 month, 2 months, 3 months without lights. We make 2 weeks without lights. So we really need light.
The inhabitants of Ambam now live on hope that one day the energy that will come from the Membele Dam will rescue them from their problem.
The governor of the southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon, Benau Kaliabilai, says face masks should be given to passengers and the cost added to the transport fare. He was speaking today at the Mile 17 bus station in Boya during an anti-COVID-19 fight. Details with Derijato.
The new wave of COVID-19 and the practical steps of sensitization campaign in the Southwest region. Supervision is done by Southwest Governor Bernardo Kaliabila himself, and he is on the field. This outing is about educating and showing the Southwest population in Boya how to best keep COVID-19 at bay. From Moliko to Great Supermarket, Government Bilingual Grammar School Moliko Boya to Mile 17 bus station, he called on the Southwest population to respect all the barrier measures against COVID-19 and even gave out the proposal that face masks should be provided to all passengers and the price added on their transport fare.
When you get into the car, they give you a mask because the cost of the mask is comprised in the ticket.
And some transporters saluted the Southwest Governor's proposal.
I don't see anything wrong with what the governor said. It's a very good point because at times you get to have some passengers in the car, they may have forgotten their mask at home or during the control point they can disturb you. So it's good. Those that don't have the mask, it's good that you involve it, you make sure you give them to save your time and to prevent the spread of the COVID-19.
The Southwest Governor is here at the Mile 17 bus station. The outing today is purposely to inspect himself what is going on vis-a-vis respecting the barrier measures against COVID-19. He has been moving from one bus to another, of course sensitizing people and telling them that it is a collective effort and everybody has as an obligation to respect these various measures. Derek Jato, Equinoxe Television, Mile 17 bus station, signing out.
Coming up, Charles Kmer takes a look at efforts to step up the financial viability and stability of women. His report.
How to promote autonomy in young women in the city of Douala, which is the economic hub of Cameroon. This problem was addressed by the mayor of the city and women who came in their numbers to attend a conference within the context of promoting sustainable development for women in the country. There is a necessity to organize a conference where women can be heard, but most especially this conference is aimed at promoting sustainable development for women who need to voice out the challenges they face and come up with strategies to help women flourish in our society. A recent study from the International Labour Organization reveals that 40% of young women in the economic capital Douala enjoy financial autonomy, figures which contrasts the fact that the population of the city of Douala is made up of more than 60% of women who represent great economic potential for the future.
En réalité, lorsqu'on parle de la jeune fille et de son autonomisation, en réalité, c'est de la venue.
When we talk of the autonomy of young girls, We are talking about the future. The mayor of the city of Douala has put in place a program to help in the fight against poverty among women. We as women are happy and elated by this initiative, spearheaded by administrative authorities. A discussion in order to set up a joint strategy to get young women of the city of Douala to consider the idea of autonomy so as to embrace financial passivity. We are going to push women towards being autonomous so as to boost the well-being and standards of living of this emerging population of women. A set of strategies were discussed which in the long term should boost the growth of young women towards an economic explosion in the city of Douala, thus making them grow from the status of consumers to that of producers.
How often do you consume natural fruit juice? Maybe once in a while, or maybe not at all. In the report coming up next week, I'm going to tell you why you should frequently consume natural fruit juice. We'll tell you the benefits of the natural fruit juice and how they are produced. Immaculate Fogwe has more.
Amadine Elvira and Daniel Gaoun are both young Cameroonian entrepreneurs who are struggling to encourage the consumption of natural fruit juice in a country where carbonated drinks are highly consumed. In a quest to know how natural juice is done, we decided to visit both of them at their residence. Amadine first of all washes her pineapples. She later peels it and cuts it into small pieces. The chopped pineapples are later blended and the juice extracted from the fruit. The juice is later bottled in an airtight container and later kept in a refrigerator.
L'ananas déjà est un fruit très...
Pineapple juice has many health benefits. It is rich in potassium, manganese, calcium, vitamin C and fiber. It's equally good for digestion since it is a natural laxative.
Vraiment très recommandé.
We later visited Daniel Gaoum, who is specialized in the production of baobab juice. Her excellent mixture caught the attention of several Cameroonians on her social media page. I first of all separate the baobab seeds from the fiber. Later on, water containing fever grass is put on fire to boil. The seeds are later thrown into the pot and kept on fire for 3 hours. The content is later poured in a sieve so only the juice is extracted. Sweetened milk is later added and the mixture stirred for a minute. The baobab juice is later bottled and kept in the fridge. Though natural beverages have a lot of health benefits, dietitians warn against the use of artificial preservatives, which sometimes leads to long-term health issues. Added to that, some mixtures are equally dangerous to the immune system. A lot of people now blend ginger and pineapple. The coronavirus pandemic made this mixture popular, but many people are not aware that it is rather dangerous because it causes a lot of harm. Pineapple should never be mixed with ginger. Cameroonians have been advised to consume natural juice frequently in order to get a mega dose of vitamins.
Immaculate Fogwe reporting there. Now out of the Republic of Cameroon, fighting broke out between Muslim and Christian protesters at the Baptist Secondary School in Ilorin City in north-central Nigeria over whether Muslim female students should be allowed to wear head coverings. Both sides reported injuries after throwing stones and plastic chairs at each other during the protest in the morning today. This prevented the reopening of the school that was forced to close last month, along with 9 others, because of an escalating dispute over head covering worn by Muslim girls for religious reasons. The police fired tear gas after some Muslim protesters tried to pull down the school signboard, and the schools were set up by Christian missionaries many years ago, but the government says it controls them. This has led to a legal battle with the High Court, an appeal court ruling in favor of the government, but a Christian group is now challenging the decision in the Supreme Court. Officials of the Confederation of African Football, CAF, say $11.4 million disappeared into thin air, so to speak. The information was made public during the 43rd General Assembly of CAF in Rabat, Morocco, which saw South Africa's billionaire Dr. Patrice Motsepe voted as president. Smanjika Gabriel reports.
The African Cup of Nations will continue to hold every 2 years. According to the newly elected president of CAF, despite calls from the World Football Governing Body FIFA for it to be held every 4 years, the cup frequency and mid-season timing has long been criticized by European managers forced to give up their African players. This forced FIFA's president Giovanni Vincenzo Infantino to say that playing the tournament biannually has not helped Africa infrastructurally or commercially. Patrice Motsepe, recently voted as CAF's president, says no to FIFA's order.
And I've got no doubt where we are now, it has to be every 2 years. There's no doubt about that.
Motsepe said the timing can be changed because CAF needs the fundings. He was, however, friendly to FIFA's boss.
He's my brother. He loves Africa. And I need him to help us do the things we need to do for Africa.
During CAF's Congress on Friday, it was announced that they have lost $11.4 million after losing $6.8 million the year before. The African Cup of Nations previously provided 80% of CAF's income. Patrice Motsepe has set as his priority the search for new commercial partners for the African Nations Cup and other CAF's events.
African football needs partners. And you need partners who can make things happen.
Patrice Motsepe is, however, confident that football in Africa will improve in quality and be self-sustaining over the next few years.
Smanjik and Gabriel ending this edition of the primetime newscast on Equinoxe television. Coming up next, Equinoxe. Stay with us.